Hello and welcome to On the Mic, a Zoomcast that spotlights students, services, and staff of Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. Highlands offers adults 22 years of age and older the opportunity to earn their high school diploma, learn English as a second language, and learn a skill. My name is Mike Roessler, and today we are joined by Highlands' very own Favio Luevano. Fabio, how the heck are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Mike.
You betcha. Thanks for being on the mic. I know Lorraine and I have been anxious to get you on the mic for a lot of different reasons. So, Fabio, I know that you are a former student and that you dropped out of high school at about 21 years ago, right? So tell us the story behind that, if you can, and then how you got to Highlands 21 years later.
So as a teen, I was very much rebellious. I used to live in Colorado. My dad moved us to Colorado. I'm originally from Los Angeles. My dad moved us to Colorado. Don't ask me how that came about, but yeah, he moved us out there. So right around like my sophomore year, I started working at Holiday Inn Express, and I really liked the money. And
I really like their cinnamon rolls, by the way.
Yeah, I like making money as a kid, and I thought that, that's what life was all about. So I wouldn't go to school much. I was ditching a lot. My dad ended up saying that we were going to move, and then we didn't move, and he said, well, since you don't want to go to school, why don't you just drop out and help me, start paying bills. So it wasn't a problem to me because I like I said, I like the money. When I got older, I realized that that's not the way it works, and I wish I would have stayed in school because I was not making the type of money that I thought I would be making.
Yeah, and listen, the Holiday Inn Express, which I love that place. I love the cinnamon rolls that they have there. And listen, I think a lot of us, Fabio, had the boy. This money thing is pretty nice, and you have money in your pocket, but you don't realize that's the short-term gain and not the long-term gain. And so you finally now, before we understand how you got to Highlands, introduce yourself and tell us what you do for Highlands.
Yeah, my name is Favio Luevano. What I do for Highlands, I'm the digital support specialist. I work hand in hand with the DNs. I am the direct supervisor of the department. I help plan and structure set up distribution to all our sites. Also provide technical support to all our students, and everything in between, whatever they need me to do. Take out the trash, clean toilets. I'm here to do it.
I love it, Fabio. And you started February 22nd of last year.
Yes.
Of this year, right?
Of this year, yes.
Of this year. So you've been 6-7 months with us. Now, how did you get? Because you're a former student. How did you find out about Highlands? What intrigued you about coming back to earn your high school diploma 21 years later?
So my wife, who has been working in education for about 18 years. She fresh out of high school, she became a teacher's assistant. She worked at the juvenile hall. She was always harping at me and telling me that I needed to go back to school and get my high school education. I always thought it was impossible. I thought I would never do it. I didn't think I was smart enough to do it. So we were at the DMV one day, and ad came out about Highlands
on the TV up there, right?
Yeah. And so in the past, she had actually, purchased programs and stuff. She spent money on me trying to get me to do like independent study stuff, sending me like textbooks and everything. And I never applied myself to it. So I just kind of like told her, yeah, maybe I'll check it out. So she wrote down the number and she's like, no, I need you to check it out. And so I finally, I called them, they'd set up an appointment. I came, I remember going up that ramp. Every single time I come to Highlands to work and I go in there to ask for something, I always remember my first day going up that ramp. And yeah,
that's the coolest in building B. That's the coolest story ever. Like
yeah,
that brings you back some good memories.
yeah, yeah. And so I signed up for in-person classes. They told me I would have to show up every day. I thought that was crazy because I was working somewhere like 50, 60 hours a week. And I thought it was impossible. So I did what I naturally did. I wanted to drop out again.
Right.
So, but they wouldn't let me. From the teachers to the counselors to the people that work here, they just were cheering me on the whole way. I always say it should have took me a lot less than it took me, but nonetheless, I finished a couple years later, and I feel really proud to say that I earned my high school diploma.
Yeah. Listen, that's such a great story, Fabio. And you had told me that thank goodness for the independent study program, because that allowed you to continue to go to school while you were still working and probably helping provide for your family.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your experience with Sika.
Yeah, so right around the time when I decided that it wasn't gonna work out for me, they told me to hold on because they were starting a new program, and that they would have to relocate me to a different site. And they sent me to West Sac. That's where I started going to school. Mona Speaks was my first teacher. So yeah, I showed up there. I started going twice a week and turning in my homework. I felt like it was something I can do, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I can actually learn something and not just beat myself down and saying that I can't do it. So they soon switched my teacher, and that kind of upset me. But I've gone to I've grown to love the teachers, all the teachers that I went through. I went through Lori, and the last teacher was Jajita, which became a great teacher and a great friend to me. My wife would always say, after we got off of our Zoom meetings, did you guys talk anything about the school or class or anything? I'm like, yeah, we spoke about work, but I had a lot to say to her. I just felt so much support from the teachers that whenever they reached out to me, I felt like I was letting them down when I didn't do my work. So it was a great experience. And honestly, walking on that stage, I didn't think I was going to get as emotional as I did, but man, it was amazing. I was so glad to see so many people doing the same thing and their lives like being impacted by it.
Fabio, I noticed even just recently you were getting, looks like you were getting a little emotional. It's a big deal for you to finish and earn that high school diploma, huh?
Yes.
And what does your wife think about watching you walk across that stage?
She told me she was really proud of me, and that she knew I could do it all along, and it just felt really good.
I mean, and it's because you told us that your wife was trying to find any way possible to get you to study, and the early tries didn't work, but luckily you walked up that ramp.
Yeah.
And you now and you registered. They sent you to West Sac. You registered again. You, you went home and worked your butt off, did your homework, turned it in, and boom. Now you also took one of our career technical programs during your stay with Highlands and Sika, correct?
Yes. I did the A+ certification through Asher College. I was always like intimidated with computers and stuff. I used like technology at work. We had to fill out the paperwork through an iPad and sending emails and stuff like that. I knew how to do all that. It's just I just didn't think I can apply like technical skills and like take apart a computer, learn hardware and software stuff. I thought it was like very far reached. As a matter of fact, I got a story to share about that. My first week there, they made us kind of like take it all apart, take a tower all apart, and actually put it back together and make sure that it turns on.
Wow.
Well, I started taking apart the power supply, and you soon learn in the first lessons of A plus certification that you do not open a power supply because you can literally stop your heart. It'll shock you, you know, because they keep the charge in there. And I thought I was taking it apart from the actual casing, but it was no, I was taking it apart, and then I was trying to put it back together. And somebody was telling me, like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. What am I doing? And so, anyways, I didn't die, so it's a good thing. But they they called me high voltage from then on.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I listen. I think other people, when they watch this, might start calling you high voltage as well. And so you finished the A plus certification program at Asher.
Yes,
You
yes.
earned your high school diploma. How did you find out about the employment opportunities at Highlands?
So I was going to Asher with a couple of Highland students, Animals Gova, another girl named Christina, and Nazrat, who is an employee here. He's a paraeducator, and they were talking about it, you know. And so I reached out to my teacher and I asked her, like, at the time I left the medical field. I was working for another charter school delivering books. I worked for the library, and they told me, yeah, you should apply. I ended up like not applying, and I got a call from Mona, who I found out that she was a counselor now. She was like, yeah, I think you should apply. I think you'd be great. You know, I'll put in a word for you and stuff, and refer them to you because you were such a great student. And so I was like, oh, cool. And so my wife's like, you better apply. And so I ended up applying, and like a few months later, I ended up getting a job offer.
Well, listen, I don't even know your wife, but I like your wife because she kept pushing you throughout. It sounds like she's pushed you.
She does not settle for mediocrity at all.
That is fantastic. Now, Fabio, I know you're married. You don't have any kids. Who do you like to look? Who do you look forward to seeing when you get home from work?
My wife. I like seeing my dogs. My dogs are so energetic. I almost have to tell them to calm down. Put them in a different room because I don't want them to just like destroy me because they'll literally jump all over me.
Fabio, tell us about your 3 dogs.
Yeah, I have 3 French bulldogs. We have Lilo, Stitch, and Penny. So Lilo and Stitch was supposed to be the pair, but Lilo, we found out, has bad hips, so we got Penny to try to breed them because I eventually want a puppy from them. So now we have 3 dogs, which is quite a handful. I don't feed my dogs kibble. I cook for my dogs, so it's a very they take a lot of my time.
Hey, listen, the next time I'm close by, I'm going to come to your house for some dinner.
Yeah, come on by.
I mean, what do you, Fabio? What do you just for an example? What do you cook for your dogs?
I cook them. It's ground beef with vegetables, and black beans, and then I add it's like a vitamin powder that comes from this place called the Farmer's Dog. Yeah, so that's what I make for them. I just try to, French bulldogs have a lot of health issues, and I try to keep them as alive as I can. Trying to keep them healthy. My mom tells me all the time, you should be eating that food, not the dogs, but nonetheless, here I am.
Do you ever snack on that food when you first
I
meal?
mean, it's edible. It's human grade. So
Yes.
I don't know about that powder stuff, but before that, yeah, you can definitely eat it.
So Fabio, when you're not cooking for your dogs and you're on it's the weekends, what do you like to do in your off time?
I like to go do activities with my church. I'm very involved in my church. My church is called City Bible. It's in Midtown. Yeah, very involved in the community. Try to help with outreach and various types of programs. Yeah.
Fabio, before we leave, tell us what it feels like within the first 7 months of your employment. I mean, what stands out to you in your job?
Um, it's definitely not easy, but it's very rewarding. I get up every morning knowing that I have the opportunity to impact somebody's life, and to see how hard the digital navigators work. It just brings me joy knowing that we're serving these students that you know have had maybe a lot of doors shut in their face, a lot of people tell them that they can't do it. Maybe even come from places where they're like fleeing war and stuff, and to know that you can make a person feel welcome and also encourage them to move forward and to establish themselves and get a great career, and to see them walk across that stage, man, I it makes it all worth it. All the hours, blood, sweat, and tears that we do day in and day out, I enjoy it.
I do too, Fabio. I do too. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you taking some time to be on the mic. It was so fun to get to know you a little bit better. Um, High voltage, I think, is going to stick. And I also think that other dog owners may come to you for that recipe for their dogs as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
Thank you for the interview. I really enjoyed it too, and I hope it helps and gives somebody, the hope that they need. They know that they can make it. Look, it took me 21 years, but nonetheless, I got my high school diploma, and now I'm giving back to what I received.
Fabio, I'm going to correct you for a second. You earned your high school diploma.
Amen.
You earned it. Hey, Fabio, have a great day.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right, you take care. Bye bye.